Alright, let's take a look at the course in D2L as well now. Now, let's see. Okay, so I'm in the course homepage, and for those of you who have had classes with me before, you know that you go to the content page and basically everything is listed there. And so that's where you go to do all of the assignments and activities for the week. For instance, January 7th through the 12th this week is on instructional design in general. And you're going to go and check out the different items one by one. Just follow them sequentially, first, then second, then third, down until you're finished with the week's activities. And you want to finish this week, of course, by the end of the 12th, which is Saturday night. So this is what you're going to do then. You're going to take a look at I just did a video on the syllabus, so you'll watch that. You'll read the syllabus if you need to know more about it. And then tell a little bit about you in the discussion. I think we've already had some people responding to that, which is good. You can learn about me if you don't know about me yet, and then you'll watch some presentations on the instruction process and the ADDIE process. And that's about it for this week, except we have a Tech Talk assignment as well that I will talk about in a moment. So we'll come back to that. But if we go down to January 14th through the 19th, again, you have on tasks or learning. And you can do them again sequentially. So you'll click on meetings, read these linked items. First principles of instruction, for instance. What is task-centered learning? And the third one, how task-centered learning differs from problem-based learning. Of the week, and then you'll watch a few presentations on different instructional design models. This is M. David Merrill, a colleague of mine, who did those, and then you will comment or talk about task-centered learning. What is task-centered learning and how could it be used in your class? Now keep in mind, task-centered learning is something that, well, really honestly, not a lot of people know more about than I do, and so you're going to have to get into depth on that one next week. But anyway, that's just to give you an example of how to go through the course in D2L each week. In some weeks, like if you look on the February 2nd week, there's a Models and Tools presentation due. I'll introduce that assignment a few weeks in advance so that you can be working on that as you go forward. But yeah, that would be due during that week again. February 2nd is the last day of that week, so that's when everything listed under that week is due. So hopefully that's pretty easy to follow in the course content area. Alright, now the Tech Talk assignment. Well, this is important to know about, and for those who have been in my classes, as I mentioned before, you probably know about this, but there's a little addition to it, and it's a recipe assignment too. So you're going to do a presentation. You're going to choose a software or app or website that you want to use for your Tech Talk, but you're also going to add a recipe page. So here's what the assignment looks like. You're going to learn about a specific technology tool or resource that is relevant and useful for education. And you'll do two things with it. Present about it in class, which means, for this class, because it's an online class, make a recording of it, showing the tool. And then create a tech recipe sheet about it as well. And the in-class presentation should include the following. You should briefly introduce it, give a how-to presentation on it, show a realistic example of how it could be used in education, tell whether you think you would use this in your own classroom or in your own teaching and why or why not, and do all of that in only 5 to 7 minutes. So that's a normal kind of Tech Talk presentation for those of you who have had mine before. And you can use a tool, Screencast-O-Matic is great for recording your screen to do this presentation, something like what I'm doing right now. But if you also, let me close this here, if you also need to do a tech recipe sheet, and this is what sets it apart maybe a little bit for those who have done Tech Talks without the recipe sheet. It needs a special sheet with a title with the name of the technology tool or resource, a subtitle that shares what it can do, a picture or screenshot of the technology tool or resources, and steps for 2 to 3 things that teachers could choose to do with the technology tool or resource in order to support student learning. So again, steps for 2 or 3 things means that you will have 2 or 3 things, and each of those 2 or 3 things that teachers could choose to do with it have steps in them. So you're talking about a few sections then in this one sheet recipe, and that will show somebody what they could do with this technology. And it's nice to have a recipe sheet because if anyone wants to pick up a new technology, this is sort of an easy way for them to pick it up and go with it. So I like that opportunity there for them to work with it. Alright, so that is the Tech Talk and Integration Recipe assignment, but there are some other supporting documentation that will go with that. So there's the assignment. This is actually a new survey I just ran with South Dakota teachers that has top websites used for teaching and learning now. This is actually within the last semester that teachers in South Dakota, about, how many did I get this time? 900? 800 to 900 teachers responded to this. Top laptop/desktop computer software applications they use, top mobile device apps that they use, and top makerspace items that they use for teaching and learning. So that's a new list actually from just this last semester. They filled it out fall of 2018. Alright, and then there's a help here. Oh, there's the sign-up sheet here. So you want to pick a week that you're going to sign up to do this. Now, you only have to do this once, I believe, in this class. And yeah, one person per week. And I think you only have to do it once, so we're not going to get too many because it's a smaller class. And you can just sign up for a certain week, and then what you're going to do is put your name in right now, your tool and resource, and maybe even the link to it if you can find it. And then you can add your own link to the recipe. If you have, like, if you can upload the recipe page to Google Drive or Dropbox or something, you can add your own link to this. And your video too. When you record your video, you can either send it to me or you can put it up online yourself and just put the link right in here. So either way is fine with me, but make sure that by the end of whatever week you signed up for, so January 19th for instance, Megan has signed up. So make sure you finish this by that end of that week, and I'll put it out the next week so that everyone can view it. And that way we share with each other these new technologies, tools, and resources. So that is the Tech Talk and Integration sign up. If you need help with creating the presentation part of that, you can go to this Creating an Online Presentation, which is part of my textbook, I believe, that helps you to do that. And here's an example tech integration recipe sheet for those who have not seen that before. This is one about Poll Everywhere. So notice that there are steps for more than just one thing. So this is steps for signing up and creating a poll and having students respond. But there's more than that. There's multiple choice question types or different types of questions or something else like that. And to create this recipe, I actually use just a template in Microsoft Word, I think. And so you can pretty easily find templates in Word that are like for flyers or for newsletters or brochures, and just put in your information instead of that. That's an easy way to do it. Or you can do this with Apple's Pages app, and they have a lot of great flyers or different templates that you can use. I think a newsletter template was the one actually that I moved to more often. The newsletter has kind of a nice appeal to it. So find something that has a good appeal to it, some colors and some pictures to make your recipe sheet. Alright, so that's the Tech Talk. Let me check this, creating an online presentation. Yeah, so that just links to my book and gives you an idea of the tools you could use to create a presentation for this. So that should hopefully get you started with the course this week. And also, I forgot to mention, don't forget to sign up for Remind. We're going to use Remind to communicate in this class again. So click on this link, fill it out with your information so that I can communicate with you through Remind. And let's not use D2L's not so good email system. All right, have a good week.